Commitment and wanting something are two very different things. And the sooner you're able to distinguish that, the sooner you're able to be honest with yourself, the sooner and faster you will be able to create these results for yourself. Welcome back to the Life and Business Podcast. I'm your host, Sue Bravo. I am a life and business coach, and my expertise is helping my clients to create really profitable business, so make lots of money in their business, but also have a really amazing, thriving life, one where they are actually living their life, right? I think that life and business go hand in hand. That's why the podcast is called Life and Business. I don't think that you need to have one or the other while sacrificing one or the other, sacrificing your values, your beliefs, your relationships. And so on today's podcast, in order to help you guys live life well and do business better so that you can ultimately build a really profitable business, but also be able to live life well, I really want to talk about something that just is so important right now. Especially as we get into the end of the year, people are taking a look back, reflecting on the things that they've done and things that they haven't done, and then going into the new year, taking a look at the goals that they want to create. Even though this podcast, I feel like I'm just recording it on my phone, I just decided, you know what, I really need to talk about this because it's been a recurring theme for the past week, maybe 2 weeks with my clients, with potential clients, with friends, with family. And this concept, today's episode is going to be really all about commitment and then wanting things, like differentiating, because oftentimes people will say that they want something and then they don't do it, or they will say that they're committed to something, but then they actually don't do it. And I want to give you guys an example of being committed, right? How most of the time people are asking me, like, how do I get more motivation and inspiration to do things? And I'm like, you don't need more motivation. You don't need more inspiration. Those things are nice. They make you feel good. They make you feel nice. And sometimes we take action from that place. But what you really need is more commitment to your goals, to your dreams, to the thing that you're trying to create. And here's what I mean. If you are a parent of any sort, you are probably not motivated or inspired at 3:00 in the morning to wake up and feed your kid, right? In the dead of night, you're like, I feel so motivated. I'm just going to wake up and go. Probably not. But here's what you are. You're committed to keeping your child alive, right? And think about if you don't have kids, right? If you're not a parent and you have a job, you don't just wake up every single day and you're like, I'm so motivated and inspired to show up for work. No, there are some days where like, I don't want to go to work today. If I didn't have to go to work, I would not go to work today. But why do you still show up? Why do you still go? Why do you still get ready and drive there and do the work? It's because you're committed to the thing that it's going to give you. You're committed to the paycheck. You're committed to getting gas money. You're committed to groceries. You're committed to the lifestyle that you're going to have because you're showing up for this dream, maybe not for this dream, but for your job, right? And the same thing goes for your dreams. Oftentimes I will ask potential clients who want to work with me, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to your goals, to your dreams, to results that you want to create? And 1 is like, absolutely not committed. I'm not going to do anything. 10 is absolutely committed. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get there. And it's funny. It's very interesting because a lot of people will be like, I'm a 10, 11, a 12, a 13. They'll throw this crazy number out there. And we want to ask ourselves, why? Why did you put that number out there? Because here's what I actually see often. People will give me that number based off of what they want, not based off of their commitment level. Right? A lot of people want a lot of things, but they're not committed to doing the work that is required to do that. And so the importance of this podcast is that I want you to take a look at your commitment level, okay? And this is being so honest with yourself. And remember, your commitment level and you wanting something are two very different things. I want a $1 million business. That is very different from I'm committed to making that happen in the next 3 years, the next 5 years, no matter what. I'm going to be so focused. I'm going to take the actions. I'm going to do the mindset work that is required for me to show up in that way. Commitment and wanting something are two very different things. And the sooner you're able to distinguish that, the sooner you're able to be honest with yourself, the sooner and faster you will be able to create these results for yourself. Okay? Because again, I just want you to think about commitment is making something happen no matter what. It's not just I want it to happen. And I think the reason why this is so important is just going back to everybody wants things. We all want more of things in our life. We want more just joy, more happiness, more freedom, more relationships, deeper relationships. We want all of those things, but not everybody is committed to that. Not everybody is going to decide, hey, you know what? I want more time with God, and here's what I'm committed to. Every single day, if I can't sit down to read the Bible for an hour, guess what I am going to do? I'm going to find God in every single moment. I'm going to pause and thank Him for this, for my phone, for this microphone, for the opportunity to speak life into people. And so if you have been trying to reach a goal for a long time, if you've been like, I want this thing, I want this thing, and I want this thing, and I'm trying to reach for it, like, just be honest with yourself and ask, have you wanted it more than your commitment level? Because your commitment level has to be equal, I would say, if not more than your desire and your want for that. Because if you are like, I'm at a level 50 of I want this thing, but if you're at a level 1, 2, 3, even up to 9, if you're at a level 9 of being committed to making this work for you and happen no matter what, you're probably not going to get there, because you need to be all in. You need to be committed to making that progress, to taking the actions, to changing the way you think, to making that dream become a reality. You have to be committed, because here's the important thing about commitment is that someday you're going to wake up and you're not going to be motivated. You're not going to be inspired. You're not going to want to do the work. And the only thing that is going to help you continue to take consistent action is your commitment to the bigger vision, to the end goal, to the thing that is so much bigger and better than the daily grinding in your business. I always tell people this example of, like, some days I don't want to write that email. I mean, maybe that's a bad example because I love writing emails, but let's just say, like, in your business, you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to post that content. You're not going to want to record that podcast. You're not going to want to put out that messaging. That's just going to happen inevitably. We're human. We're not perfect every single day. We're not robots. We're going to wake up and we're not going to want to do the thing. But here's how I take action. Here's how I honor my schedule. Here's how I do the thing that I say I'm going to do in my calendar and in my schedule anyway. It's because I'm committed to something bigger than writing the email. It's not about writing the email. It's about changing somebody's life. I think about my podcast episodes. It's like, people tell me, hey, this one podcast changed my life. It changed my business. It changed the way I think. And I'm like, I think about that one person. And I feel like I talk about this in every single episode, but it's like, you're committed to the impact. Me waking up at 3:00 in the morning is not about me waking up at 3:00 in the morning to feed my child. It's like, no, I'm committed to my child having an amazing, thriving life. And that is going to require me to wake up at 3:00 in the morning and feed them. And how is that amazing and a gift and an opportunity? And I get to do that. I get to write the emails because I get to make an impact on somebody's life. I have a 50%, I think it's like 52% open rate in my emails. And I just think about, like, all those people that are actually opening the emails, that are actually reading this message. What they're telling me is like, hey, I want more of that. I want more of this value. And I might not know every single person on there, how their life is being changed and how their business is being impacted by my one email. But I know for a fact, if somebody's reading it, somebody's life is going to be changed. And when you are committed to that impact, to changing people's lives, even if it's like changing your own life, your family's life, your community, it doesn't have to be other people's lives that you're changing. If you're just changing directly your life, are you even committed to that? And again, it's not, do you want to change your life? That's an easy yes for a lot of people. Yes, I want more joy. Yes, I want more peace. Yes, I want more freedom. Are you committed to doing the work to get there? And here's what that actually means. Are you committed to stop binging Netflix? Are you committed to stop impulse shopping? Are you committed to stop speaking to people unkindly? I want you to think about the thing, like the one goal that you want to hit by the end of the year. You've got about 45 days left maybe by the time this podcast comes out, 30 days. What is the one thing that if it happened, it would completely change your life, and you know and believe that it could happen in 30 days? But also, what is the one thing that is stopping you from getting there? For most of us, it's going to be things that we don't want to do, because it's going to require us to change who we are, change the way we think, change the way things that we say. And that's the hard work. I can give you all of the strategy. The strategy is so simple. Like, I feel like I change my life all the time because the strategy is so simple. The hardest thing is going to be your mindset work. And that, I feel like that's why people, like, they come to me to get coaching and they think that they're going to get all of this strategy, and they do, but their transformation happens in the coaching when they're honest to themselves, when they're honest in the coaching, when they ask the hard questions, when I ask the hard questions, and they do the hard work of diving deeper and asking themselves, hey, why haven't I reached this goal that I've been trying to hit for 3 months, 3 years, or 3 decades? What am I continuing to do? What behaviors, what patterns, what cycles am I continuing on that are stopping me from actually hitting my goals? For a lot of people I know, it's like the shiny object syndrome of like, okay, I tried this thing for like 1 week and it didn't work, so I'm going to try something new. And then I tried this thing for a week and it didn't work, so let me try something new. It's like you're not giving, like when you're committed, you're going to like spend as much time as necessary to reach that goal. Commitment means you're going to make it happen, whether that takes 30 days or 60 days. Because once you reach that goal, now you know, cool, it took me 60 days and I'm going to try to do it in 45 and then in 30 and then in 20. But so many people are not committed to actually making it happen. They're just committed to the good feelings of like, I tried and that feels good. And it kind of sucked because it didn't happen. But let me try this new thing. And then, okay, that kind of didn't work out. And so that failed. And let me try something new. And it's like, if you're able to manage your thoughts and your emotions and persevere and have that resilience to continue going no matter what, right? No matter if you're in a high mood or a low mood, if you are committed that much, you're going to make your dreams come true. You're going to create the results and you're going to create the success that you have been dreaming about. And that really requires commitment. Because going back to this idea of like, you're going to wake up and you're not going to want to do the thing. And the only thing that is going to help you stay consistent and take actions, no matter what, is going to be your commitment to the bigger thing, to your big why, to why you're even writing this email. Right? Again, it's not about the email. It's not about eating healthy. It's not about stopping watching Netflix. It's not about any of those things. It's about the person you're becoming because of your commitment level so that you can make all of this other big, big things happen. And so I want you to like, this is my invitation for you today. It's a super quick episode, but I really just invite you to evaluate. What have you been wanting in your life? And what has been your commitment level to that? And just be so honest. There's nobody around you to judge you or shame you or, guilt trip you. It's just like, just be honest. Hey, I've wanted this thing for 3 years and my commitment level, I thought it was actually a 10, but my desire level has been at a 10, but my commitment has actually been a 5. It actually hasn't been a priority. And here's the gift in that. Now you get to ask yourself, how do I make this commitment a 10? Or do I even want this commitment anymore? Do I even want this goal anymore? And maybe sometimes the answer is no. I evaluate goals with my clients all the time. We come back and we say, hey, do you still want this thing? What's your life like now? What's your business like now? Because maybe you don't want this thing anymore. Maybe you don't want this membership anymore. Maybe you don't want this course anymore. And how is that okay? There's so much freedom. Like I always talk about how you get to create the exact kind of business that you want so that you can have a life that works with it, right? Your business gets to work around the life that you have wanted and desired and want to create. And so in that evaluation of like, what do I want and what has been my commitment level, you get to ask yourself, do I still want to be committed to this goal? Or if you decide to no, then you get to pick a new goal, right? That you actually do want. And now if you have decided, I want this thing, my commitment level has been a 10, but you need to get to, my commitment level has been a 5, but I want to get to a 10. Now you get to ask yourself, what would make it a 10? What would I need to tell myself or believe or think or feel to make it a 10? And most of the time, I would say that that's just casting the vision for why does it even matter? Why do you want to create this thing? How is it going to change your life? How is it going to change your family's life, your community's life, the online world, whatever it is that you're doing? Why does it matter? Another great question to ask yourself is, why do you want to do it now versus in 3 months or 3 years? Why do you want to be committed to creating this result now? Why should you begin now? Because it's very easy for our brains to convince us like, hey, we could start in 3 months, and then that turns into 3 years, and then that turns into 3 decades. And so you really want to ground yourself and ask yourself, why do I even want to go for this goal now? Why is it important to start now? And then I want you to also ask yourself this question, okay? It's a little tricky, but you want to ask yourself, why would I want to start in 3 months? And just be so honest with yourself. Because for some people, they're going to be like, you know what, honestly, I have been super sick and I just need 3 months of recovery. And so the reason why I want to wait is because I want to, whatever goal it is, if you need it to be a physical goal, right? You could just be like, I really just need 3 months for my body to heal and to be recovered. And then I'm going to go all in on this goal. But sometimes you're going to be like, you know what? No, there's literally no reason for me to wait 3 months. Because sometimes people will be like, I'm going to start in January. I'm going to start in the new year. And for me, I always think about goals like I could start at any time. I can start on January 1st or June 1st or December 1st. I can start going for any goal and any new resolutions right now. I don't have to wait. And so if that's the answer for you, then ask yourself, what is stopping you from taking action today? And this just goes back to this commitment level of like, really, I want to, like this, the purpose of this episode is to really help you just shift your mind in the way you think about being committed and wanting things in your life. Because again, those two are very different things. And the sooner you get to evaluate and be honest with yourself, the sooner you can reach your goals. Because I want all of you to be able to hit your year-end goals because you're just committed and you've become the person who honors your commitments to yourself. And you just blow your own mind of like the possibilities that you can create. And so I'm going to end the podcast episode there. As always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to send me a message on Instagram, in my email, or even just like comment if you're watching on YouTube as well. And with that, I am just wishing you guys all the most success, the sustainable success. I feel like that's my tagline on my emails. Like, I'm just praying for so much of your growth and your sustainable success for the rest of the year and even into 2025. And if any of you are looking for that support, that coaching, where you just feel like, you know what, I have been trying to reach these goals and I've been doing these things and they just don't seem to be working. And you know, like my coaching is really for people who have already been looking for help, who've already been looking for support. And so when they meet me, they're like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. And so if you know that you want to not just increase your income, but also increase your impact and then also grow in your identity of who you are becoming as an entrepreneur, I'd love to invite you to work with me inside of my private one-on-one coaching program. There's a link underneath in the show notes, in the description of the video for you guys to book your complimentary consultation. This is the end of the year. This is so full of possibility. It doesn't, just because it's the end of the year, does not mean that your goals have to stop here. It does not mean that whatever you've accomplished or have not accomplished isn't going to come to life. Like there's 45 days left from the time I'm recording this. If you're watching this, there's maybe 30 days left. You can do so much in 30 days. If you're willing to stay focused, stay committed, follow one course until action, you will guarantee your own success. And that is my hope for you. And I'd love to support you, coach you, and guide you in that. Again, you can book a complimentary consultation call with the link in the show notes and or the description wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. And I'll talk to you next time. Bye.